Good evening, everyone, and welcome into our Home Field Credit Union Studio B as we present this week's edition of the Milford Informer. I am your host, Tim Coet. With excitement over Milford softball once again at an all-time high around the community, we are happy to bring you a full recap of the last week for the Lady Hawks, which included 3 games at home. But before we get to sports, we have a pair of news stories to get to as well. Let's share the details with you on those as we get to this week's top stories rundown.
Tonight, see how the students from the Hospitality and Tourism Management program over at Milford High School played a key role in revamping one of Milford's local hotels. Also tonight, we're joined by members of the Citizens for Milford to discuss details on the upcoming Medal of Liberty ceremony being held inside Milford Upper Town Hall on May 20th. And later in sports, we will recap the week for MHS softball, which included games against Mansfield, Stoughton, and Canton.
Last week, the students from the MHS Hospitality and Tourism Management program hosted a grand reopening party over at the Courtyard Marriott. The party capped off a major renovation project that the HTM students played a key role in as part of their internship hours at the hotel. I made my way over to the grand opening event to talk to some of the students as well as the staff over at the Courtyard.
This is the Courtyard by Marriott here in Milford. Me and a fellow of my classmates in the Hospitality and Tourism Management program in Milford High. We spent a couple months trying to do the grand opening of the Courtyard. Spent a lot of time and effort here. We're finally starting to put it together. It starts at 4:30 to 6:30. So yeah, that's really what's going on here. We got this nice tropical theme going. Hope a lot of people show up.
We are having a lot of different events going on for people coming in. We're going to have vendors, we have raffles going on, charity, we have tours going on. So people who aren't familiar with the Courtyard can get a little insight of what the renovations are looking like and what the new rooms are looking like, what the space in general is looking like when it's been renovated.
There's definitely a lot here. So we have a caricature guy, which is like draws your pictures like a cartoon, and then we have a live guitarist and singer, and we have shaved ice truck. We have all these cute little decorations. We have a bunch of vendors. We have Olivas, Prezzo's, Cafe Sorrento, and the 19th hole, all from Milford, and they're showing off like all their food and stuff, and they get like promo and all that good stuff. So there's definitely something for everybody.
We're very excited to be hosting our newly renovated Courtyard by Marriott Hotel. Full renovation of all the guest rooms, the bistro, which has an enhanced menu to it, meeting room space. We added a fire pit in the courtyard, so just to be able to show the Milford, town of Milford, what we have available to them and all of our customers.
When we first started, it has changed quite a bit. It looks a lot newer, it looks a lot cleaner, you know, just the different colors that they've been adding into the hotel have really changed like the dynamic of it in general. It looks a lot better and it's almost more modern, so I feel like it also attracts a lot of guests. And this grand reopening event will really help with having a lot more feedback on the hotel, maybe getting more attention drawn to it, so I think it's great.
We kind of watched like the before and after, like the entire process. We've been here, we've been helping, we've been working in the bistro, we've been doing like check-ins, we've been doing everything. So we've seen pretty much every aspect of it, and we've seen it all come together, and it definitely looks a lot better.
The hospitality students have been tremendous. There's been 19 seniors this year. They've taken on the whole grand opening themselves and training in the hotel, in the food and beverage departments, the front desk, and in the rooms department. But now we're excited to have them roll out a grand opening party for us. They did all the invites, the decorations, and a lot of hospitality students, a lot of talent in that group. We're very excited to have them here with us tonight.
It's been really good. They're really nice. We've actually have internships here, so we kind of get to know some of them. We know them pretty well. They know us pretty well. So yeah, it's been a really good time working with them.
I remember one day in particular, we went around to all the porches and stuff, and we fixed all the lights. We put down all like the mattresses. We did like the bedspreads and everything. So, and like the pillows and just like the little stuff that like to get off their hands, you know.
From soup to nuts, there's a lot of details, a lot of planning. They learn everything about the hotel, what entails in the hotel. They contacted the vendors, decorations. They had a budget to work with and kept within the budget. So a lot of learning experiences and customer contacts, and did a fabulous job.
When you first start the HTM program, you actually get an interview when you're a sophomore. And then they choose from about 100 kids. There's about roughly 20 kids in our class. And it's usually a 2-year program, HTM1 and HTM2. We're HTM2, we're the seniors, so we're the ones leaving. But it's really good. We actually get certified in a bunch of different things, especially in serve safe food handling. And we also get an OSHA certification as well.
Being an intern here has been very, very great. I mean, the things that I have done, I never thought I would be doing. I've gotten a lot of hands-on experience. It's almost like I've had my job here. Really, it's seriously like that. And interning here really gives me an opportunity to get like an idea of what it would be like if I actually went into hospitality for my career in the future. So I feel like I'm almost ahead of the game because of it, which is really great. So it all has been a great experience.
I feel very ready for my future, and I feel like not many people get this opportunity to like prepare before going out in the real world, but Ms. Maloney and Mr. D have definitely taught me a lot, and I do not know where I'd be without this program, and I really recommend it to anyone going to high school.
Earlier this year, we shared a story with you from our friends at the Citizens for Milford as they prepared to host a large-scale Medal of Liberty ceremony here in Milford in conjunction with Memorial Day. With the Medal of Liberty ceremony now just a couple of weeks away, we were once again joined by members of the CFM to share everything the community members need to know ahead of the ceremony. And we are very happy to be joined once again on the Milford Informer by two representatives from the Citizens for Milford. We have Peter and Joanne joining us once again. Thank you guys for being so gracious with your time to once again join us on the program.
Thank you for having us.
So for those who might not remember, we had Peter and Joanne on back during the winter a couple of months ago to first talk about the big plans that you had in place for the Medal of Liberty ceremony, which you had planned for May 20th, which is now just a couple of weeks away. And so, Peter, first of all, just to refresh everyone's memory, tell us a little bit about this award and its significance.
Well, the state of Massachusetts passed a law back in 2009, 2010 that they would award this Medal of Liberty to any soldier that was killed in action or died as a result of injuries suffered in action. So Milford had a list of approximately 57 Milfordians that were killed in action. And we, like I said at the last interview, that we had given out 8 during the Veterans Day, this past Veterans Day ceremony. And now we've got 43 that we're going to be giving out at this ceremony, May 20th.
Joanne, when we spoke last, you were still relatively in the early stages of trying to track down the next of kin for a lot of the servicemen that you were hoping.
We had 17 that there was no way that we could find. We tried everything. So you were kind enough to publish it on the screen, and the Milford Daily News did an article on it. And I'm very happy to say we found 100% of the next of kin. And the reason it was so hard is some of these people that died in 1945 had no brothers or sisters. Their parents are long gone. So the community, by reaching out to them, worked side by side with us and called and gave us leads. We followed up every lead. It took us to Florida several times, and Connecticut is another one I can think of. But the community was so helpful because they would say, oh, I saw this in the paper, I saw this on Milford TV, and I remember so-and-so, I went to high school with him. And they'd give you a big story, and one told how he was a little boy and his sister was his sister's husband. So that's how we were able to find everyone.
Aside from the Medal of Liberty being handed out, Joanne, there's also going to be citations and awards presented by a lot of local and even state officials over the course of the ceremony.
family will receive a citation from Governor Baker, along with citations and proclamations from Congressman Joe Kennedy and Senator Fatman and Representative Murray. So that was a little hard how we were going to do this, because we don't want the audience there for hours being bored. So we tweaked it so it's going to be a very, very nice flow when they pick up all of these awards.
That's outstanding. And again, Peter, you touched on this just a moment ago, but there's a lot of other involvement as well. You have the Milford Area Community Chorus involved in the day, and also some of the high school musicians will be part of this as well.
Yes, the Milford, A Touch of Brass will be the quartet, the Milford, the prelude to the ceremony. The Greater Milford Community Chorus will be America the Beautiful. And then the Milford High School Quartet, see, God Bless America?
No, they're singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay.
And then we have taps and echo taps to close the program.
Yeah.
The Italian Vets Post 40 in Milford's been very helpful to us. They're going to post the colors and retire the colors at the ceremony. And we have a group of Girl Scouts that will lead everyone in attendance in the Pledge of Allegiance. And they've also have a little surprise for all of the family members.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so again, just to remind everyone once again, this is coming up on Sunday, May the 20th, over at Upper Town Hall here in Milford. You'll the actual ceremony will begin at 2 o'clock. You'll open the doors at 1:30, and I'm imagining that this is you're gonna pack the house. So it would certainly be wise for people to come early to make sure that they can secure parking and a seat.
Yeah, even if it's earlier than 1:30. And we did send out very formal invitations to dignitaries and certain people, but the whole public is welcome. We encourage anyone that, especially from Milford, who can attend to make it.
We want as many people there as possible. We found out that the town hall can hold 800.
830.
So we're hoping that there's 801, and we'll have to sneak someone in on the side. But just the look of the town hall will be so very different, because we're going to festoon it in red, white, and blue. And the committee made a presentation this past Monday to the Milford Board of Selectmen. We purchased a new American flag and a new state flag, which will make their first appearance on May 20th, to enhance the look of the town hall and to let everyone know that in 2018 this ceremony took place.
Well, that is absolutely fantastic. And again, you mentioned it. This event is absolutely free and open to the public. So we certainly recommend everyone check out what is going to be a very moving and very special event. And just as we close things out, Peter, I know you mentioned this to me before you came on air, but this is you set out to accomplish a goal with this committee, with this presentation to honor every fallen hero. And the way you put it to me before we came on air is mission accomplished. That's got to be a pretty special feeling.
Yes, it is.
And the family's going to be honored, because the families gave up a lot too when their loved one didn't return or they got the telegram. I was talking to one of the people. She was 10 years old, and she remembers them coming to the door. And another girl whose dad was in the Vietnam War said she was 2.5, and all she remembers that someone came to their door and her mother couldn't stop crying. So this is going to be very meaningful to these people as well.
Well, these are absolutely, without a doubt, heroes. They made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. So we cannot do enough to honor and remember all of these heroes. So again, we have to thank you and the folks at Citizens for Milford for putting this event together. It's going to be a fantastic day, a very memorable day here in Milford. So we encourage everyone in the community to come out to the Medal of Liberty ceremony on Sunday, May the 20th. The ceremony will begin at 2 o'clock. It is free and open to the public. And again, for any other information on this or any other CFM events, we encourage you to check out the website citizensformilford.com, a great resource here in the community. So Peter, Joanne, thank you again for all of your hard work, and thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. It's our pleasure.
As we mentioned off the top of the show, it was a very full week of action for the Milford softball team. The girls played a total of 4 games over the last week, and we were excited to have our cameras rolling for full coverage of 3 of those matchups. So let's take you through the full highlights over the last week for Milford softball.
Not many teams can say they've played Milford tough over the last 5 years. One team that has been able to give the Lady Hawks a good battle in recent seasons has been the Mansfield Lady Hornets, who came to town on May 4th looking to end Milford's undefeated stretch. Facing Milford's ace Kelly Reichert, Mansfield would have some success in the first inning. Cara Bendinillo would deliver a base hit through the left side of the infield to get the inning started. Megan Latendre would follow that up with a ground ball to short. Emily Pierre-Gustavo would try to get the force out at second, but Maddie Bonvino could not handle the throw, resulting in 2 on with no outs. The runners would advance on a ground out, and eventually Bendinillo would score on a grounder to third by Katie DeMasi, and so Mansfield would strike first, taking a 1-0 lead. The Milford bats would be quick to react in the bottom of the inning. After Kate Irwin reached on an infield hit, she would once again make her speed a factor on the bases with Emily Pierre-Gustavo at the plate.
17 RBIs already on the year, 3 home runs, and hits one high in the air out to left field, tracking it back towards the fence, and that one taking a hop off the fence. Holmes able to play it on a hop. Here's Kate Irwin. She gets a late stop sign from Coach DeVito, just keeps on going, and ends up sliding in safely without a throw.
Milford would strike again later in the inning on an RBI single from Shannon Cormier to make it a 2-1 Milford lead after 1. In the second, Kate Irwin would reach base for the second time, legging out a bunt single to give the Lady Hawks a bases-loaded no-out opportunity. Sarah Cahill would manage to retire Pierre-Gustavo on a lineout, but she would see her defense open the door for a Milford rally as the inning continued.
The windup and the pitch from Cahill, and this is hit high in the air out to left field. This will stay in the yard, and it gets beyond the glove of Holmes. She cannot make the catch, and that will result in 2 runs crossing the plate. And now first pitch swinging, Hartman hits a hard smash to third base, and nothing Verhagen can do but hold on to it as Irwin slides across the plate. 2 outs, 2 runners on, and the pitch is hit hard past the dive of the third baseman Verhagen. And here comes Jess Tomaso around from second base. She'll score.
That 5-run lead would quickly expand with senior Sabrina Harstick leading off the bottom of the third.
Cahill's next pitch is hit high in the air out to left field, sending Holmes back to the fence. She will watch that ball go. It is a solo home run for Sabrina Harstick. A line drive shot over the left field fence, and that will give Milford a 7-1 lead.
The Milford lead would stand at 9-2 in the 5th inning, but the Lady Hawks were still not satisfied.
It's the speed of Irwin aboard, and now Pierre-Gustavo rips one out to left field, back towards the fence, and that one in and out of the glove in left field, and Irwin coming all the way around. She will slide safely across home plate as Emily Pierre-Gustavo ends up at third. And now Tomaso gets into this pitch, sends it out into the gap in right center field. That is down for a hit. No problem for Pierre-Gustavo to score. Tomaso winds up at second base. And now hits a fly ball out to shallow left field. It drops in for a hit. Tomaso will be waved to the plate. The throw is up the third base line. Tomaso scores standing. Hartman winds up at second base. And the line just keeps on moving for the Lady Hawks here. They take a 12-2 lead.
Milford would take an 11-run lead before some sloppy 7th-inning defense allowed Mansfield to cut into the deficit. Ultimately, the Lady Hawks would put the finishing touches on their 10th win. They become one of the first teams to clinch a playoff spot as they defeat the Mansfield Lady Hornets by a final score of 13-7. Milford's busy week of action continued on May 7th with a home tilt against the Stoughton Lady Knights. Stoughton pushed Milford to the limit in their first meeting of the season, holding the Lady Hawks off the scoreboard until the 7th. Milford would have a chance to get to Stoughton starter Nicole Baker early, putting 2 on with 2 outs in the first, but Baker would get Shannon Cormier on a called third strike to end the inning. Baker would then retire the first 2 hitters in the bottom of the second, but a pair of infield hits and a walk would end up loading the bases for the red-hot bat of Emily Pierre-Gustavo.
1-1 pitch.
is in the air out to right field. Tracking it is Stone towards the line. She can't find it. It lands in fair territory. Harstick, Bonina, and Irwin will all cross the plate as Pierre Gustavo winds up at second base with a bases clearing double that puts Milford in front 3-0.
Baker would keep Milford's bats quiet in the third inning, but the third time through the lineup, the Lady Hawks would start to make some adjustments.
It's a good pitch to drive and sends it out to center field over the head of Val Whalen, misjudging it. And they will send Tommaso all the way around. She will score as the ball ends up just in front of the pitcher's circle. Hartman ends up at second base with a double. Winkus advances to third, so runners at the corners for Kelly Reichert, who sends a shot through the right side of the infield. That will bring a run in as Winkus scores. The throw comes into second. Still an 0-2 count. And the pitch is a liner out to the gap in right center field. That's down for a hit, and it's going to roll off towards the fence. Shannon Cormier crosses the plate. April Swain will come in right behind. It's a 2-run triple, a stand-up triple for Maddie Bonvino. And that opens the lead up to 9-0 for the Lady Hawks.
In the fifth inning, Stoughton would shake things up in the circle, bringing in Gina Carafa, but she too would struggle to keep Milford's offense at bay.
And now first pitch swinging, Hartman sends one out towards right field. That is over the head of Lafredo towards the fence. Emily Pierre Gustavo scores. Here comes Jess Tommaso around. She will score as Hartman hustles all the way to third base with Milford's second triple of the game.
Kelly Reichert, who pitched 5 innings of 3-hit ball in the circle for Milford, would end up finishing things off later in the inning at the plate with an RBI single to give Milford their 12th and final run of the day. Milford notches Mercy Rule win number 5 of the season as they shut out the Stoughton Lady Knights by a final score of 12-0. Kelly Reichert has assumed the role of staff ace for her senior season, and so far the results have been nothing short of spectacular. Reichert entered Wednesday's game against Canton with 11 victories on the year and a 1.05 ERA. She would continue that trend of success as she matched up against the up-and-coming Canton Lady Bulldogs. She would make quick work of leadoff batter Allison Chin with a strikeout in the top of the first, and after allowing a 2-out single, Kelly would finish off the inning with a K against Elizabeth Bickett. Reichert would allow a 1-out single in the top of the second inning, but from there she would completely lock things down against the Canton Bats.
Reichert able to come back with a quick 3-pitch strikeout of third baseman Sarah Kelly. Here's the pitch, and it's waved at and missed. That one completely dropping off the table. And now the 2-2, that's at the top of the strike zone, a called strike 3. As Kelly gets a wave and a miss from Allison Chin, who goes down swinging for the second time today. Here's the pitch, and it is foul-tipped into the mitt of Emily Hartman for strike 3. And Kelly Reichert strikes out the side in order. Now 5 consecutive strikeouts for Reichert.
As the K's mounted for Reichert, the Milford offense would pile on through the middle innings, and once again right at the heart of the Lady Hawks attack was senior captain Emily Pierre Gustavo.
And now looking for more. First pitch swinging, Pierre Gustavo pops it up out into shallow center field, but it lands. Bonina will score. Another payoff pitch. And this one is hit high in the air out to left center field, back towards the fence, and that one is gone. Seemed like only a matter of time in that at-bat with so much hard contact, and eventually Pierre Gustavo goes yard, a 2-run home run. That will make it an even 10-0 lead for the Lady Scarlet Hawks. And now a hard line drive down the left field line. That is a fair ball. It rolls off to the corner and completely off the playing surface. That will be a ground rule double. Bonina will be awarded the plate. That's the second double of the game for Pierre Gustavo. And it will be her 4th run batted in.
Kelly Reichert would cap off her superb outing in the circle with her 10th strikeout in the top of the 6th. Milford would go on to play 2 more runs in the home half of the inning to once again claim a Mercy Rule victory. Milford improves to 13-0 on the season as they beat Canton by a final score of 13-1.
Milford's perfect record received a major test this afternoon as the girls traveled to Newton North to take on the same Lady Tigers team Milford edged out in last year's state semifinals. The girls will also travel to North Attleboro as part of next week's slate of games to take on the very dangerous 10-1 Lady Rocketeers. We will once again have a full update on the Lady Hawks here on the Informer next week. And while the girls are away, we'll have a chance to reconnect with the baseball team, so expect highlights from Pheno Field next Friday night. And now let's get to this week's upcoming events.
Here's an important reminder that coming up on Monday, Milford will be holding its annual Spring Town Meeting. The warrant for town meeting consists of 29 articles. Important decisions on the warrant include whether or not to approve a proposed $103.9 million budget for fiscal year 2019, as well as a vote on proposed changes to town meeting protocol. Milford Spring Town Meeting is scheduled for this Monday, May 14th, inside Upper Town Hall beginning at 7:30 p.m. If you cannot make it to Town Hall, we encourage you to tune into live coverage of town meeting right here on Milford TV. And here is another reminder that coming up on May 20th, the town will be hosting the 3rd annual Celebrate Milford. Once again, this day-long celebration will take place all around Town Park. The day kicks off with a youth parade at 10 a.m. There will be live music throughout the day, and residents can enjoy great food, a host of vendors, a beer garden, kids zone, and there will even be a judged porchetta contest. The 3rd annual Celebrate Milford is taking place on Saturday, May 19th, all around Town Park from 10 a.m. all the way until 8 p.m. For more information, you can log on to celebratemilford.com.
That will do it for this week's show. Remember, if you miss any of our live streaming coverage of the spring sports teams, you can find their games in their entirety airing on the Educational Channel, and you can access them 24/7 over on our YouTube page, My Milford TV. Thank you as always for tuning in. From all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.